Hi there. So, a lot of us have known that what we eat is important for a good, healthful living and making sure that we are best utilizing our body and the nutrients we put in it. I bet a lot of us haven't thought about how we eat and how important that is to our digestion and to our functioning and the utilization of what we eat. So, in this short video, we're just going to talk a little bit about ways that you can make mindful eating part of your practice, which will improve your digestion, improve the amounts that you're eating, and help you to really enjoy the process. So, in our common era and how busy things are nonstop, a lot of our day is spent in that alert phase, in that, going in fight or flight. Even if it's not super stressful and even if we're enjoying it, it's still in a more active phase. When we're eating, we need to switch over to our parasympathetic, which is our rest to digest. And there's a reason it's called that. When we're in our parasympathetic state, our body actually releases more enzymes to be able to digest more properly. It also starts the gears going, makes your intestines start to move and become more mobile so that way they can get ready for what's to come as well. It is important then to make sure that we are in this state before we engage in a meal. So, with just a couple steps, mindful eating can become a really simple, easy, and enjoyable way to be in your full presence in your meals. So, one of the things I recommend is, even if you're busy, even if you have a job that doesn't allow you like a full break or whatever it is that you're doing, make time, even 5-10 minutes, step away from what you're doing, try to find a beautiful place. I always encourage outside, but if you can't get to somewhere where you have a pretty view, or enjoyable partnership or companionship, and just take a couple breaths, nice slow deep breaths before you get started. This can help you drop in to that parasympathetic state, which already gets your enzymes going, which is already going to help your digestion. Okay, so even just doing that can help. One other thing that has been shown with mindful eating to improve the amounts that we eat and also make the experience more enjoyable is taking time to use all of your senses before you take your first bite. So, not only breathing and slowing down, but like looking at what you're eating, smelling it, feeling it. There are a lot of cultures that use their hands to eat, and I love this and fully encourage you to do so if you can. But making sure that take the time to engage all of your senses before you take your first bite can not only improve your experience, but it can also make you more mindful of your hunger and satiety cues or your full cues. So this is something that's really important with healthful eating as well. Next up, bite size matters and the amount that we chew matters. I know it might seem kind of silly to talk about, like all of us know, yeah, you need to chew your food before you swallow it. You would be amazed at how many people come into my emergency room because they rushed the process and just, did too much too soon. So taking time to slowly chew your food, some of the studies say 20 bites per or 20 chews per bite of food. This not only makes it break down more and be in smaller pieces so your stomach and digestive tract can digest it more easily and readily, but it also gives you the time to process and enjoy each bite, really engaging that parasympathetic nervous system, letting those enzymes flow, and also letting you know if you need to continue or not. When we rush, sometimes we run the risk of overeating and not getting those cues, because it takes a little bit of time for them to translate from our brain down to our mindfulness or our prefrontal cortex. So listening to those cues, taking your time, slow, steady bites can not only make it so you don't choke, but also that your body is able to process what you're bringing in. There's also studies that show that this helps with reducing the or minimizing bloat as well, and like that discomfort that comes after eating. A lot of times that bloating feeling or discomfort or indigestion is just because we've been rushing the process or we weren't quite in that parasympathetic state when we started or continued our eating that day. Another thing that can really help is being really tapped into your hunger cues. So a lot of times we eat because we are stressed or bored or in a rush, or we think that we need something because it's been that time. But it's often it is easy to overlook our actual hunger cues. So the more that you are able to pause throughout your day, And check in. Same thing, slowing down your breathing and seeing where your body lands, seeing if it says, yeah, I'm actually hungry right now, or no, I think it's okay, and just waiting it out if you aren't fully hungry. Also identifying other things that you could be feeling, like, oh no, I'm not hungry, but I'm kind of stressed. And maybe take that opportunity, instead of eating something, you can drink some water, go find a place and meditate for a couple minutes and see how you feel at the end of that. It's incredible once we give ourselves that permission and really check in with what our signals are, how good we can feel. And we might realize that we were eating at times that we weren't really hungry. So it can really help with overall weight management and digestion if we're not adding more in that doesn't need to be there as well. Um, the last thing is kind of going along with that, reducing and eliminating distractions. So it is so easy to want to grab your phone and scroll on something, or catch up on a message, or watch TV, or, be people watching. All of these things, they're, nothing is innately wrong with them, but it does take us away from our presence with what we're doing. And presence is so important, not only, through the day-to-day activities that we have, but in eating as well. Because with that presence, again, we are able to enjoy the moment. We are able to really be in our no stress state, or our parasympathetic is able to take over. We get to slow it down and just take that moment for yourself to nourish your body. Again, you're going to have a better connection with your hunger and your full, your satiety cues when we do it this way as well, and we're not distracted. There have been studies that show that overeating is very much linked to distracted eating. So the next time you're, getting ready to pop out your phone as you're sitting down for a meal, maybe put it aside and just really dig in and be present with what you're eating instead. So these are just 4 simple ways that you can make yourself more intentional and more mindful with your eating, but they can have drastic differences and impacts on improving your digestion, minimizing bloating, minimizing overeating, and making the process more enjoyable. I hope you've enjoyed. Feel free to share or like if you gained anything from this, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.